Orlando, Florida, riding for Action Chassis Racing. This gentleman qualified 1/1000th of a second off an absolute perfect light. Your number one qualifier is Mr. Justin Carr. And we do have something special for Justin. His Full Throttle magazine has a $150 bonus check for your number one qualifying spot. Next up in Screaming Eagle, your SEB class, an 1150 index class from Conover, North Carolina, riding for Dream Chasers Racing. He qualified with an 1150 with a 4 at 85.27 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jeremy Abbott. Now in Purvis Motorsports Hot Street, from Cressona, PA, riding for Schaefer's Harley-Davidson Racing. He qualified with a 968 with a 1 at 136.08 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, your number one qualifier is Mr. Bruce Kronberg III. In Rush Racing Products Super Eliminator, a 1090 index class from Holly Hill, Florida, riding for Wild Pig Pipes Racing. He qualified with a 1091 with an 8 at 117.75 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, your number one qualifier is Rebel Clover. In HDRA Supersport, a 1030 index class, riding in Lakeland, Florida, for Huffman Racing. He qualified with a 1030 with a 1/1000th off a perfect run at 114.99 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, your number one qualifier is Mr. Donnie Huffman. Next up is Screaming Eagle V-Rod from Bristol, Indiana, riding for Pettit Motorsports. He qualified with a 920 with a 0 at 146.53 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Robert Pettit. In Bison Racing, real Harley-Davidson Super Gas, a 970 index class. From Rolling, North Carolina, riding for the WFO Racing Team. He qualified with a 970 with a 1 at 124.49 miles per hour. Your number one qualifier is Greg Best. Now in Right Quick Graphics Street Pro, from Cressona, PA, this man riding for Schaefer's Harley-Davidson Racing, qualified with an 876 with a 2. 153.75 miles per hour. Your number one qualifier is Bruce Kronberg III. In Screaming Eagle Dragon Bagger, from Lafayette, Indiana, riding for Dan Bell. He qualified with an 11.00 with a 7, 120.11 miles per hour. Your number one qualifier is Philip Johns. Now in HDRA Pro Modified, from Wakefield, Mass, riding for Capone Racing. He qualified with an 833 with an 8, 155.81 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Frank Capone. In Screaming Eagle V-Rod Destroyer, from Youngstown, Ohio, riding for Warren Harley-Davidson Racing. He qualified with an 876 with an 8, 149.43 miles per hour. Your number one qualifier in V-Rod Destroyer is Nick Goodnanis Jr. In Hawaii Racing Products Pro Drag Nitro Harley, from Wilkesboro, North Carolina, riding for Mark Cox Racing. He qualified with a 718 for 174.26 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mark Cox. Now in Rush Racing Products Pro Gas, from Seymour, North Carolina, riding for Browns Racing. He qualified with a 6.92 with a 199.32 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Keith Brown. In AHDRA Postock, from Hayes, Virginia, riding for Headblade Racing. He qualified with a 7.89 with a 2 at 168.47 miles per hour. Your number one qualifier is Mr. Sean Reno. In Rush Racing Products, Pro Fuel Nitro Harley, from Aberdeen, Maryland, riding for Horn Racing. This young man qualified with a 6.52 with a 7 at 216.86 miles per hour. Give it up for Mr. Douglas Horn. And finally, in Screaming Eagle, Top Fuel Nitro Harley, from Blufftown, North Carolina, riding for Ray Price Motorsports. This young man qualified with a 6.21 with a 7, 223.88 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tommy Grimes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, give them all a hand as they go back to their bikes. As we have something special coming up here in just a second.